Yes, welcome to Vision Plus and welcome back to this S.4 Mathematics. We are looking at differentiation and we are using method 1, that is powers and coefficients. Example 2 says find the derivative of the following. That means we need to differentiate the following functions. If you look here closely, we have negative powers, others have fractional powers, others have the variable is on the denominator. So let us see how we can solve this. Part A says we are given y equals to 5x power negative 3 minus 2x power half plus 7. Let us differentiate this. The first thing that you must pay attention to is you make sure that there is no variable on the denominator. Like in this case, the function is y and the variable is x. If you look here, there is no x which is on the denominator. Make sure the variable is not on the denominator. So from here we can go straight away and say, therefore dy dx equals to, remember the laws of power and coefficients. What do? We say that you lower the power, you lower this power. But here there was a coefficient of 5 already. So to get the new coefficient, we shall say 5 times, if you drop the power which is negative 3, we shall have 5 times negative 3 x here. Now we need a new power on x, and we get the new power by subtracting 1 from the whole power, and the whole power is negative 3. Then we subtract 1. That gives us the new power. Then you proceed, say here minus. Again you open the bracket. Here we have 2, which is the whole coefficient, times. Then you drop the power, which is a half. Then you say x. Now we need a new power here, which is the whole power minus 1. Okay, then you proceed plus 7 here does not have a variable x, therefore 7 is a constant. When we differentiate a constant, it gives us 0. Then from here we simplify. 5 times negative 3, negative 15 x. Negative 3 minus 1, negative 4. 2 times half is 1. Okay, so we shall just say minus 1. Then we shall have x. A half minus 1 is negative a half. If you add 0, it makes no difference. Negative 1x is the same as negative x. So here this gives us negative 15 x power negative 4 minus x power negative a half. This answer is correct. Or if you want to put your powers, if you want to put x on the denominator such that the powers are positive, you can have, or you can have negative 15 out of x power 4. The power now becomes positive. Remember, you must know the laws of indices very well and how to apply them. So please, if you don't know anything on indices and the principles of indices, please go back to senior 2 and minus. We need to take x power negative half down. That is the same as 1 out of x power positive half. Or even somebody could have negative 15 out of x power 4 minus 1 out of x power half is the same as root of x. So this answer is also correct, or this answer is also correct. Remember, it is very difficult for us to differentiate when a variable is on the denominator. But your answer, you can have your variable on the denominator after getting the answer. So either this or that works. That is the solution to part A. Part B, we have y equals to 4x power 3 out of 2 minus x power negative 1 plus 6 out of root of x. If you look at this question here, x, which is a variable, is here on the denominator. That makes it quite hard for us to differentiate that term of 6 out of root x. So what do we need to do? We need to make sure that the variable x is on the numerator. So we just need to rearrange our equation so that we have y equals to 4x power 3 out of 2 minus x power negative 1. I have not changed anything yet, plus 6. Now I need to take root of x up. Okay, remember, root of x is the same as x power half. So if I take x power half up, I will have x power negative half. Those are the laws of indices. We shall have x power negative half. Now from here we can differentiate because all the terms in the variable side are numerators. Therefore, dy dx becomes 4 times the lower the power, 3 out of 2 x. Now we need a new power, which is the whole power of 3 out of 2 minus 1. We have differentiated the first term. Now we proceed minus. Remember here we have 1. We shall say 1 times, we drop that power, times negative 1. Then we attach x. Now the new power becomes the whole power, which is a negative 1 minus 1. We have differentiated that second term. Then we proceed plus 6 times, we lower the power again, which is negative half. Then we say x. Now we need a new power, which is the whole power of negative half minus 1. Now we have differentiated all the terms. Then now from here we simplify. 4 times 3 out of 2 is like 6. You press the calculator. It is 6. And then x, what is 3 out of 2 minus 1? Get your calculator. That is just subtraction of fraction. 3 out of 2 minus 1. Don't waste time. You have calculators which are allowed for use in exams. So 3 divided by 2 minus 1. I'm getting a half. So that there, I will have a 6 power half. Let me write it bigger. 6. I will have 6x, by the way, 6x power half. Then you proceed here. Negative times negative is positive. 1 times 1 is 1. So we shall just say plus 1, which we don't write. 1x, negative 1 minus 1 is negative 2. So x power negative 2. And then 6 times negative half is negative 3. So this positive will change to minus. Minus 3x. Now the new power is negative half minus 1. That is negative 3 out of 2. This is the answer. This answer is very correct. Okay? But alternatively, if you have tried it out before you followed my solution and your answer is not this, that means it is probably in this format. Or this is the same as 6. X power half is the same as root of x. So it is the same as 6 root of x plus, I'm trying to make my powers positive. That is the only thing I'm doing right now. Plus, but if you leave it here, it is very correct. So here plus 1 out of x squared. And the power becomes positive. Make sure you know the laws of indices. Minus 3 over x. Now we shall make the powers positive. So here we shall have 3 out of 2. That is one of the answers that one could get. This one is also correct. Or someone could have our mark as a disturbing, but in the next class we shall be able to have very good markers. Or somebody could have x, 6 power root x, 6 root x plus 1 out of x squared minus 3 over. This x power 3 out of 2 is the same as x cube. It is the same as root of x cube and a root. Okay, so the same as root of x cube. Those are lots of indices. If you get time, go back to Senior 2 and watch our list of videos. So this is the same as root of x cube. That is another format of the answer. But there are very many other formats of the answer. Now let us go to part C. Part C, we have the function y equals to 2x power 5 out of 4 minus 7 out of x squared plus x power negative 3 out of 4. That is part C. What do we need to ensure? We need to ensure that the powers, we need to ensure that the variable x is on the numerator, just for us to be in position to differentiate quickly. Remember, if it is on the denominator, it does not mean that we cannot differentiate it at all. But for the methods that we have learned, that is powers and coefficients and maybe first principles, the two methods do not permit us to always have it on the denominator. But the other methods, like one, product rule, quotient rule, okay, even chain rule. So all this can permit us to solve that when the variable is on the denominator. But we have not looked at this, so it is meaningless for us to employ it here again. So let me take them up quickly so that my y here becomes our markers. That is, so that our y becomes, shall I here 2x power 5 out of 4 minus 7x power negative 2 plus x power negative 3 out of 4. We have taken x squared up by the laws of indices. That means here now we can differentiate without any problem. So dy dx becomes 2 times below the power 5 out of 4 x. Now we need a new power, which is 5 out of 4 minus 1. That means we have fully differentiated that term. Plus, now the next term, not plus, minus. Next term is 7 times negative 2 below the power x, negative 2 subtract 1. Now the term is done. Plus, here we have 1. So we can just say 1 times 3 times negative 3 out of 4 x. What is our new power there? Our new power there is negative 3 out of 4 minus 1. Negative 3 out of 4 minus 1. Okay, that is the power of x there. So we simplify. 5 out of 4 times 2. 5 out of 4 times 2 is 5 out of 2 or 2.5 x. 5 divided by 4 minus 1. The power, I'm getting 1 out of 4. Then this one now becomes positive, plus 14 x power negative 3. This one now becomes a negative because there's a negative there, minus 3 out of 4 x. Power was negative 3 divided by 4 minus 1. Negative 7 out of 4. Negative 7 out of 4. This is the answer, which is very correct. But the alternative form of that answer is, the alternative form of this answer is, we simply make these powers positive, so that here we can have, this one is correct, or we can have 5 out of 2 x or 1 out of 4 plus 14 out of x cubed minus 3 minus 3 out of 4 x or 7 out of 4. This one is also correct.